Hello, good day everyone. Today we are going to look into division of decimal by decimal. But before we go into division of decimal by decimal, please I'm begging you to like and share this video. Now we are going to solve it in two methods. Meze will solve in the first method and Century will solve in the second method. Please pay attention. Division of decimal by decimal. Now we have 0.4 divided by 0.2. 0.4 divided by 0.2. Now looking at this, they have the same decimal point. Now we are going to change it into fraction when divided. Now 0.4 we change it into fraction, it's going to be 4 over 10. 0.2 we change into fraction, it's going to become 2 over 10. Now because it is division, we invert. Because it's division, we invert, and when we invert, it becomes multiplication. Therefore, it becomes 4 over 10 times 10 over 2. 10 we cancel 10, 2 here, 1 into 4, 2. Therefore, our final answer here is 2. Now, the final answer we have here is what? 2. Now, I'm going to hand over to Century to continue with his own method.
Thank you for handing it over to me. I'm going to solve the easier one and the easier method, and I'm going to use what my co-partner Meze used, and which is 0.4 divided by 0.2. Now without doing this long process, I'm going to make it more easier. Now because the numerator and the denominator has the same decimal point, I'm going to make two of them whole number. I'm going to remove the decimal point, and two of them is going to become the whole number, and therefore it becomes 4 over 2. Therefore 2 into itself 1 divided by 4 is going to give you 2. Now you see the final answer is 2. The same thing with what Meze gave you, 2. I'm going to hand over to Meze again to give us another sample, and which I'm going to solve again the easier method. So please pay attention while he is doing his own part.
Thank you. I can see you solve the easier one. I'm going to give you another example to see that if you can equally solve it with this method, and which is 0.42 divided by 0.2. Now I'm going to change it into fraction. I'm going to change this decimal point into fraction before solving, which is going to give us, that is 42 over decimal point becomes 1 equals to 100 divided by 2 over 10. Now because it is division, I'm going to invert, and then it becomes multiplication. Therefore it becomes 42 divided by 100 times 10 all over 2. 0 cancels 0, 2 here, 1 into 4, 2 into 2, 1. Therefore we have 21 over 10, and when we change it to decimal point, because it is 10, we invert it by it equals to 2.1. Now we have 2.1 here. I'm going to hand over to my co-partner Century for him to continue with his easier method.
Thank you. I can see that you are done with your long process. Now let me break it down. Now you said 0.42 divided by 0.2. Now looking at the numerator and the denominator, you can say in the numerator we have 2 decimal points there, and the denominator we have 1 decimal point there. But if you want to make it fast, now whatever you do to the denominator, you do it to the numerator. Whatever you do to the numerator, you do it to the denominator. Now I'm going to minus these 2 decimal points to make it a whole number. Because this is a higher decimal point, I'm going to do the same thing to the denominator with 2 decimal points, which is going to give us, now I'm going to remove the 2 decimal points, 1, 2, therefore this one becomes 42. Now I'm going to remove 2 decimal points here, not 1, 2, and put 0, therefore this one becomes 20. Now we have 42 divided by 20. Now what can go there? 2 can go there, 2 here gives you 10, 2 here 21. Therefore 21 over 10, this is 1 decimal point, you put it back, therefore we have 2.1. Now you can see that the final answer here is 2.1 without wasting much time in an examination. I'm going to hand over to Meze to give us another sample, which I'm going to tackle it faster. So pay attention while he goes on with his longer method. Thank you.
Okay. I can see that Century is trying to make maths look easy. Well, I'm going to give another sample to know if he's going to tackle it with the same method of his. So pay attention, and he says 0.12 divided by 0.24. As we used to say, we are going to make it to look like fraction before we start to divide, and which is going to become, this first one become 12 over 100 divided by 24 over 100. Now because of this division, we invert, therefore it becomes 12 over 100 times 100 over 24. 100 itself 1 into here 2. Now we have 1 over 2. Well, now 1 over 2 is equals to 0.5 in decimal. Now you can say I'm going to hand over to Century for him to solve again. Let me know if he can tackle this thing easier.
Okay. In number 3, we say 0.12 divided by 0.24. I'm going to make it more easier for you. Now, if an example within 3 seconds, you are done with that question, which will give you 0.12 divided by 0.24. 24. Now that's the same method we use in that first one. Two of them have the same decimal points. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now you make it a whole number. It gives you 12 divided by 24. Now 12 into itself, okay. 1 into 24, wow. 2. Now we have 1 over 2. 1 over 2 to decimal is equal to 0.5 without wasting much time. You can see that I just spent just 3 seconds or 4 seconds to give you the answer. Why it went about, should I say it, 10 seconds to solve the question. I'm going to hand over to him again to give me another question, whereas I've given the easier method. Just pay attention.
Wow, I can see that essentially. Wow, I can see that you are trying to make maths look easy. That's a nice one. I'm going to give my final sample and know if you are going to make it more easier. And it says 0.5 divided by 0.15. Now, in my own method, you are going to change it to fraction, which will give you 0.5 a fraction is 5 over 10 divided by 15 over 100. Now you invert because of division, which will give you therefore 5 over 10 times 100 over 15. What can go? 0 cancels 0. Now 5 into itself, 1 into here, 3. Now we have 10 over 3. Now we have 10 over 3. Now this 10 over 3, we have 10 over 3. We change it to decimal. 10 over 3 is equals to, that is 3 whole number, 1 over 3. This 1 over 3, we change it to decimal because it will be continuous repeated decimal, which is 3.3333 infinity 3. So the final answer here is 3.33333333. I'm going to hand over to Century to know if he can solve this in his own easier method. Just pay attention while you are watching and observe some certain things I'm doing and Century is doing.
Okay, I'm going to make it easy. Okay. I can see 0.5 divided by 0 by 15. Now I'm going to give you the faster method in this. 0.5 divided by 0.15. As I said in the second one, you look for the one that has the greater decimal point and remove it to the whole number, whereas you do it to the same, the other one with lower decimal points. Now we have 2 decimal points here. I'm going to remove it, and that 2 decimal points here, I'm going to add it here. 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm going to add 0. Therefore, we have 50 divided by 15. What can go? 5? 5 here, it gives you 3. 5 here, it gives you 10. Now we have 10 over 3. Now 10 over 3 is something as 3 whole number, 1 over 3. Now 1 over 3, when we change it to decimal, it becomes 3.333 infinity 3. So our final answer here is 3.33333. Now you can see that I make maths look easy. Now remember to subscribe, like and share this video. Thank you for participating and thank you for viewing.